All right, so today we're taking a deep dive, into this YouTube channel
Okay.
called The Breakiest.
Interesting.
And I have to say, like, I think this is my new favorite creator on the entire platform.
Really?
I mean, like, yeah, I just find their content so funny. It's like so chaotic and random.
Yeah, I took a look at the material and I have to say,
Yeah.
I'm a little concerned.
Concerned. What do you mean by that? I
What?
mean, I just think it's hilarious. Like, for instance, um, one of their videos,
Yeah.
he's like talking about horses mocking somebody,
Yeah.
and then out of nowhere,
Yeah.
he yells like, "Your stamp nose a little low there for a second, JP."
Oh, wow.
And like that's just so absurd. I don't know how you can't laugh at that.
Yeah, that's interesting that that's what you kind of gravitate towards
Yeah.
because like I was reviewing it and all I could see was the aggression.
Aggression,
Like
really,
like under all of this like seemingly nonsensical stuff, he keeps saying all this violent stuff.
really.
Yeah.
Like what?
Like the word Molotov. Like he
Uh,
just keeps saying the word Molotov. Like he just keeps.
I mean, I guess you could say it's a little dark, but I really think it's just part of the act. It's like
Mm.
his whole thing is this like dark, twisted stream of consciousness. And I mean, it's funny because it's so unexpected. You never know what he's going to say next.
Right.
It's like the humor comes from like that jarring juxtaposition. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
kind of like daddyism,
Daddyism.
Yeah, like that art movement in the early 20th century
Ow.
where they just embraced the absurd
I
and the
know.
nonsensical as like a reaction to like the horrors of World War One.
Okay.
And I think maybe the Breakiest is doing something similar.
Oh.
Like maybe he's using humor to process all the chaos of the modern world.
It's a fascinating comparison, but we can't ignore the fact that he keeps saying these
Well,
like
like,
very direct, violent statements.
what are you talking about?
He literally says, I killed someone. I'm the best doofus player. I beat a woman to deaths. And, even if he's joking,
Yeah.
it's like, where does that come from, To me, that's a cry for help.
What do you mean by that?
Like a cry for help is essentially when someone is asking for assistance,
Right.
but they're doing it indirectly through their behavior.
Okay.
Like they're not saying, hey, I need help,
Yeah.
but their behavior is very clearly
Right.
suggesting that they need help.
So you're saying this guy needs help?
Well, I mean, I think at the very least we need to take a closer look at that,
Mm-hmm. But isn't there value in allowing creators to express themselves freely? I mean, even if it's unsettling.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think that's a really tough question. And it's something that we're constantly grappling with
Right.
in the digital age. But I think we have to be very careful about drawing that line between genuine concern and censorship.
I guess.
I mean, maybe he is doing performance art.
Yeah.
Maybe he is trying to push the boundaries of what's acceptable online.
Yeah.
But I don't.
I mean, there's also a difference between like pushing boundaries and then like really needing help.
Exactly. And I think we have to remember that there have been so many examples
Oh, yeah.
where disturbing online content
Yeah.
was masking really serious mental health issues.
Oh.
I mean, do you remember that streamer who had a breakdown on camera?
Yeah, I remember that.
I mean, that was really hard to watch.
Yeah, it was heartbreaking.
And so I think we need to be really careful and look for those red flags,
Yeah.
even in content that might seem humorous on the surface.
Right. And it's funny because like he also says stuff like,
What's
I'll buy the pedal pass gets domed.
Okay.
What does that even mean? It's just violent gibberish, right?
Exactly.
Like, how can you take that seriously?
And then there's that whole video dedicated to this guy named Trevor,
Oh, yeah.
where he just like unleashes all these graphic insults and threats.
Right.
And I think
Yeah.
at that point, it's not really dark humor anymore.
Yeah.
It's just targeted aggression, and that can have real world consequences.
Oh, wow. Yeah. And I think that's enough to warrant, at the very least,
Yeah.
a professional evaluation.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, maybe even hospitalization.
Hospitalization.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, come on.
I think we have to take this seriously.
I mean, I hear what you're saying, but I just find him so compelling.
Mm.
Like, he's so unique, you know?
Yeah.
There's this raw, unpolished quality to his humor that's unlike anything I've ever seen before.
Right. And I think that's the danger.
What do you mean?
It's so easy to be captivated by the unusual and the shocking.
Right.
And I think it's really important that we balance our enjoyment of online content
Yeah.
with like a responsibility to recognize signs of potential distress?
Yeah.
And I think that's a good question for our listener to think about,
Let me
how
just-
can we enjoy this vast landscape of online content
Yeah.
while also remaining empathetic and vigilant
Right.
to the well-being of the people who are creating it?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's something we all have to think about.
Yeah, I guess so.
It's tough.
It is tough.
All right, well, that was a fascinating deep dive, I have to say. I learned a lot.
Me too.
And, yeah, I think I need to think about this a little bit more.
I think we all do.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for listening, everybody.
See you next time.